The other board members have expressed a lot of opinions that I all agree with, and I think we're really looking deep into this issue. But I'd like to take a moment just to look at it from a bird's eye perspective. And, I have experienced digital learning firsthand, and I've seen it not only on the high school level, but from the middle school level, seeing my brother going through it. And I've heard from a lot of students about digital learning. And the Charles County slogan is it's all about teaching and learning. Digital learning for most students is busy work, like I think Miss Battle Lockhart said. And in order for there to be a continuity of learning, something has to change. And I hope that when we are discussing, returning to digital learning in the fall and having that as a factor, I hope that it's going to be radically different because as it stood, uh, personally, and like I said, I have heard from many students, the interaction with your actual teachers was minimal. Most of it was a Teams message popping up and saying, do this, do that. And if you had a question, it was through an email. If you had to follow up, it could be days to get that answer back. Uh, so as for digital learning, the staff did the best they could with the time they had, and I completely understand that, and I commend them for that. However, we have that time now, and if we're going back to digital learning, I would just like to offer, I'm sure staff have thought this through, but I would just like to offer something I think would be valuable, and that is if there's a select number of students in the classroom, I know we've talked about the dual challenge of teaching while managing that online class. Would it be feasible to provide teachers with cameras so they could stream their lessons in their classrooms to the students? And that would take away the duality of the challenge. And I don't know if that has been discussed, uh, but I'd definitely like to hear from staff if or how that could be a factor. And going into the options from the student perspective, flexibility, like that's the number one word. And whatever we do end up choosing, I'd like to see flexibility for our students, flexibility for our teachers, but that's not who I represent in this case. I represent the students, and I would like to see options that, like Mr. Hancock said, they're not locked into a quarter. If they feel unsafe or they hear something, they can opt out like that. And I would like to see options where uh, if they aren't learning at home, they can come to school and we can provide for a select number of students to have that in-person learning. But if they're comfortable and we have a select number, I I think, you know, seeing where this goes, in-person teaching and learning is a valuable asset that should be still considered for a limited number of students. And I would go as far as saying, I think that teachers teaching in their classrooms without there even being a student in the classroom is superior and more beneficial than everybody being at home on their couch, because at the very least it can give students that classroom environment. So overall, that's what I would just like to see. Thank you.